Hello everyone and welcome back to LewisNews, your #1 YouTube channel for all types of Spider-Man news. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Spider-Man in the MCU and Venom. If you are new around here and you have not subscribed already, consider subscribing because this is your #1 source for all types of Spider-Man news from the games, the movies, and the shows. We talk about the Sonyverse, we talk about MCU Spider-Man, we talk about Spider-Man PS4, absolutely everything. We talk about it. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is the channel for you. And I just want to mention that there's loads of news that has come out over the last couple of days, so we're going to be covering it here on the channel, as we always do. Literally, if anything happens regarding Spider-Man, we cover it on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. But with that being said, let's get straight into the news today. So coming in from heavy spoilers on YouTube, we have got some insider information regarding the cameo that was cut from Venom with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Now, if you guys remember, way back when Venom was coming out, and obviously this was more towards the start of Tom Holland's Spider-Man career, there were rumors that Tom Holland was reportedly meant to have a cameo in that film. And that's where all of those theories came from, that Venom was somehow meant to be some kind of tumor connected to the MCU. And even though it's now technically another universe and not adjacent to the MCU Spider-Man films, we still don't really know what the Sonyverse is and how it actually works. Like, how does the Sony multiverse work in correlation to the MCU? Do incursions occur in the Sonyverse the same way they can do in the MCU? There's a lot of questions we still have not answered about the Sonyverse and how it connects to the MCU. However, one thing that we do know is that Tom Holland was apparently meant to feature in Venom, and coming in from heavy spoilers on YouTube, as I did say before, has revealed that in fact it was Marvel Studios who convinced Sony Pictures to cut the cameo from that Venom film. And as they quote, they said that Tom Holland was meant to feature in Venom, but Marvel Studios pulled the plug on it and said, no way. And as you guys do know, this was way back in 2018. But in 2019, after Spider-Man Far From Home, we know when Spider-Man left the MCU for a few days whilst that new deal was being signed. Apparently, one of the stipulations for that deal, which would see Spider-Man return for one more movie in the MCU and one more crossover movie, was that the Sony movies and that franchise connect to the MCU in some sort of way. So this way, Sony was kind of forcing Marvel Studios' hand by basically putting it in the contract that those movies had to connect to the MCU in some sort of way. And I reckon at first, when this deal was first signed, it was Sony's way of getting themselves into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and almost riding Marvel Studios' success. Because as we do know, Sony have tried multiple times in the past to create their own cinematic universes around Spider-Man, and they have failed multiple times. As we know, in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, they were planning Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6. They were also planning some sort of Venom spin-off, as Topher Grace did sign on for 3 movies regarding the Venom character. We also know Thomas Hayden Church was planned to return as well, with 3 movies on his contract as well. And then with the TASM franchise, we know how that went when they tried to force loads of setup in TASM 2 for multiple sequels, including The Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4, The Sinister Six, and once again, a Venom spin-off movie. But since both failed and Spider-Man went to the MCU, Sony continued with their plans to make villain-based movies, and obviously tried to ride the success of Marvel Studios by placing it in the contract that they had to somehow connect to the MCU, which is either smart or scummy, whichever way you look at it, which I think is really interesting. But looking back at it, I think Marvel Studios dealt with this in probably the smartest way possible, because instead of including the Sony franchises with the MCU directly in the same universe, they made it a part of the same multiverse by having Venom getting transported to the MCU through Doctor Strange's spell in Spider-Man No Way Home, which, to be honest, is probably the smartest way that they could have done that, because they have technically fulfilled the contract without having the Venom movies in the MCU. And to be honest with you, I can't blame them, because the Venom movies aren't that critically acclaimed, and the MCU, even though it's gone on a pretty poor run of form recently, is generally considered one of the highest critically rated franchises in Hollywood history. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's news. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about all this? Do you think Marvel Studios handled that new contract agreement in the smartest way possible? Or do you think it would have been cool to see Venom in the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe? Once again, like I said at the start of the video, make sure to subscribe so you do not miss any more Spider-Man news. We've got a bunch of news coming out in the next couple of days. I'm going to be keeping you guys posted on everything Spider-Man, so make sure you're subscribed. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and peace.